and thank you for joining us on the news on Cbc Tv. I am Jaiji Foster. First, our headline. Cbc Boys Brigade marks 70 years with historic 10th National Camp in Boya. The Cameroon Baptist Convention's Boys Brigade is celebrating 7 decades of youth ministry at its historic 10th National Camp in Boya. It is the movement's first ever multipurpose gathering, uniting brigaders from all regions under one roof. Brian Aboringong brings us from Day 2.
Day 2 of the landmark celebration at Ebenezer Baptist Church Great Supper featured the official opening and graduation ceremonies. Under the overarching theme, Transformed Minds for the Golden Era Mandate, the gathering marked a major turning point for the movement. Delivering both the sermon and keynote address, guest speaker Pastor Jam Jujua commissioned the newly certified leaders, dubbed the Transformata Batch, challenging them to look beyond drill commands and lead with personal integrity.
Our message was calling the young boys to be able to offer themselves completely, to lay themselves on the altar so that God can be able to walk through them. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations in which they come to a gathering, they perform the things of the gathering, and they go back, they live life different or quite different from what they practice in the camp. That is a situation in which you have kept yourself on the altar and then you take it back. But the call for us, if we must be able to move into this golden area mandate, we must be able to lay ourselves, our pride, our comfort, and our all before the altar.
Representing the CBC Executive President, Support Field Pastor Reverend Ebai Douglas Agbo underscored the vital role of the Boys Brigade in steering young people away from modern pressures like social media and negative peer influence.
One of the major challenges is peer pressure. Secondly is social media, especially in this our dispensation, where phones and other electronic and technology is available to them. If the church does not come in intentionally, as the Cameroon Baptist Convention is doing, most of our boy child will go astray. So I am thankful to God for the Boys Brigade department, which is there to help our boys to grow up in the fear of the Lord, to know the do's and the don'ts, and to know their limit, and even to know that as a boy child, the Lord is expected from them, not only within their family, the local church where they belong, the bigger family of the Cameroon Baptist Convention, and the body of Christ at large. Their impact is necessary.
Today's events extended well beyond the pulpit. Newly minted officers and young brigaders took part in practical workshops ranging from first aid drills and craft making to navigating artificial intelligence. For the graduates, the commissioning is both an honor and a mission field.
It happened that I'm one of the officers who have been certified today, and I'm so excited about it because from the beginning, it seemed like it could never happen because it was difficult, and sometimes you had to forego some things at 8 p.m. to undergo the training or to attend some classes. So sometimes we had to miss some classes and we have to come back to resit those classes because it wasn't that easy. We are taking this just as a symbol that we are going out as the certified officer to act what we have learned in the classes, and two, to train up boys.
As the 70th anniversary celebrations continue into the weekend with parades and cultural nights, these leaders leave equipped to transform lives far beyond the parade ground. Brian Aboringong for CBC Television, Boya.
The Cameroon Baptist Convention ministers have been urged to uphold sexual purity, protect their integrity, and make responsible choices as they serve in a changing digital environment. Details with Fanka Edwin.
Even though the day began with a chilly atmosphere, ministers of the Cameroon Baptist Convention have been challenged to uphold sexual purity and exercise wisdom in their usage of social media in the gospel ministry. This was during a specialized workshop at the conference in Boya, where ministers were divided into 5 groups and different fields and were taught on the topics ministerial sexual purity and social media usage in the gospel ministry. On ministerial sexual purity, it was emphasized that personal holiness, self-discipline, accountability, and healthy boundaries, including positive private conduct, can help free from sexual immorality. While on the social media workshop, it was emphasized and also taught that ministers can use digital platforms positively for evangelism, discipleship, effective communication that builds healthy boundaries. This workshop provides ministers with practical guidance to confront contemporary challenges while remaining faithful in the gospel ministry. In Boya, it was an exciting moment and a serious practical lessons.
The Ordination Examination Council of Pastor Ngamtan John and Pastor Jablak Titus took place on Wednesday, 12 August 2026. It was chaired by Bamfield Pastor Reverend Dr. Mimba Amos. Roland Bunjab and Bamfield correspondent tells us more.
It was at exactly 9:50 a.m. when the Bamfield pastor and council members arrived Zion Baptist Church in Gila to officiate the ordination council of Pastor Gamtan John and wife. The defense, the question and answering sessions that lasted for over 4 hours, at the end of it, gave God glory because Pastor Gamtan was declared ripe for ordination. This was declared by the EP representative.
I really want to thank God for what will happen today. It is a long-term issue from 2023, carries for this day. I believe Senator God is doing.
At 2:40 p.m. was the turn of Pastor Jablak Titus and wife to prove to the council and the congregation what they have learned, they know, and they believe in. The council and the church that was full to capacity gave them enough time to defend all their doctrines. And at the end of it, he was declared successful.
Ordination Examination Council of both Pastor John Gamtan and Pastor Jablak Titus. We are here since in the morning to examine them. We began with Pastor John Gamtan.
Today, finally, God has made it. The long-awaited program of the Ordination Council examination here in Covenant Baptist Church. Today, the Lord has made it. I was praying and praying and praying. Finally, God has made it. I'm grateful to God. I want to express my heart gratitude to God and to Covenant Baptist Church Christians, especially to my leaders. I want to thank God.
Present during the occasion was the ever first ordained minister of the Bamfield, the Reverend Bovam.
Considering that there is too much distance and bad route, so for a reverend pastor to go administer baptism or Lord's Supper in a remote church, it becomes really very difficult. So it's our desire that any pastor that is able to maintain integrity, to live up to the calling God has given him, he should be complete. He should be granted ordination. So that is our prayer for all the pastors in Bamfield.
That story by Roland Bunja brings us to the end of this edition of the news on CBC TV. Keep watching CBC TV.